indicted, anybody that's been, convicted of a crime and got booked in and arrested, they about to have your paperwork, okay, online.
See, the thing is once your charges are dropped, you have about 60 days to go ahead and get it, and then they go ahead and they take that shit out the goddamn court records. Why? Because there's a bunch of frivolous lawsuits and a bunch of frivolous shit.
Look, that's true. That's very true. Once your charges is dropped, then they're going to eventually take it out of the system. However, you got to realize just because your charges was dropped, that don't mean you didn't do what you was alleged to do. Just because your charges was dropped and you never got indicted on it, that don't mean that what you did didn't happen. Okay, all that means is they feel like they didn't have enough evidence to move forward with a strong case in the prosecution. Or somebody could have just got bought off. They could have just bought you off, bought somebody off, bought a lawyer, bought a judge, threw them a bag. That don't mean that they didn't do what they was alleged to do. Just because somebody's charges get dropped, that don't mean that they innocent. That just means that the court is not about to prosecute them.
That gets thrown out every day. But Nash, you just told us that Lil Durk got his charges dropped either October 22nd or the 20th. I can't recall the exact. Either the 20th or the 22nd. But I can tell you this. King Von had his charges dropped October 17th.
So, why is it that you know the exact date that King Von got his charges dropped, but you don't know the exact date that Durk got his charges dropped? That don't make no sense. King Von been gone since 2020. Y'all know the exact date that he got his charges dropped, but you don't know the exact date Lil Durk, who's still living, got his charges dropped. That don't make no sense. Okay, let me rewind this so that y'all know that these dates is not being confused.
October 22nd or the 20th. I can't recall the exact.
He say Durk got his charges dropped October 22nd or the 20th. He can't remember. But you got the paperwork. But you can't remember the exact date. That's crazy.
Court records. Why? Because there's a bunch of frivolous lawsuits and a bunch of frivolous shit that gets thrown out every day.
Hi, excuse me, miss. Can I get you some money right now?
Why you might ask? Why he can't remember? Because, for some reason, he in love with Lil Durk. Okay? He don't want to put the facts out and be biased about the situation. It's like you got Von's exact date. Why you don't got Durk's exact date? If you're going to provide the people with information, be correct. Be correct. Have your shit in order. Have your dates lined up. Be precise. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no maybes. Don't do no, this could have been, or this close, or this could have been that. Have your facts straight. Okay, if you gon' act like they facts, then have the facts.
But Nash, you just told us that Lil Durk got his charges dropped either October 22nd or the 20th. I can't recall the exact. Either the 20th or the 22nd. But I can tell you this. King Von had his charges dropped October 17th, 2022.
Okay, so what does that tell you? Why is that important? You see how he look off? Because he know that's crazy. That's why he looked off like that. Okay, King Von had his charges dropped October 17th, right? 2022. What year did King Von die in, y'all? Okay, we wasn't born yesterday. He trying to make it seem like, oh, Durk didn't have nothing to do with nothing and King Von and nothing that because King Von got his charges dropped first. Bruh, it's 2 years after he died. How you gonna charge him with something and he's dead? They should have been had those charges dropped. Now I'm about to show y'all the smooth setup that obviously went over said he had. Okay, but I'm gonna break this shit down for y'all. Okay, I'm about to break it all the way down. Now listen to
that. That means that in order for Lil Durk to have snitched on King Von, it would have been what, after the charges were dropped?
Exactly. That's exactly what that means. That don't mean that he snitched on them after the charges were dropped. You going by the dates. You going by the dates that the alleged charges was dropped. You saying that, oh, Durk would have had to snitch on King Von after his charges was dropped because Durk charges was dropped 3 to 5 days after King Von. No, that's not what happened, and that's not what nobody's saying. Okay, what you gotta understand, Mr. Nash, okay, is that their charges was dropped at the same time. Just because their paperwork didn't go through on the exact same date, that don't mean nothing. They charges was dropped at the same exact time, 3 to 5 days apart. For Cody's charges to be dropped is not abnormal. You know what I'm saying? That is something like, bruh, that's just a matter of paperwork going through. Just, they not gonna, okay, if it's 2 co-defendants, if it's 2 defendants, it's still 2 separate people. Even if they being tried together, they got separate paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So, if you dropping charges, just because you drop charges on one person, that don't mean you gonna drop charges on another person. Even if you drop charges on both people, that don't mean that those charges gonna be dropped at the exact same day, exact same time. Now, why is that important? I'm about to tell you why that's important.
Doesn't make sense.
Let's keep going.
Doesn't make sense. King Von was the one who had his charges dropped first.
He keeps saying, emphasizing, King Von was the one that had his charges dropped first. How? How? Okay, his charges just got dropped 2 years after his death. That don't even make sense. That's what don't make sense. Okay, that's what y'all need to pay attention to. That's what y'all need to make sense to me. Okay, that's how did you just not getting your charges dropped 2 years after your death? You know how? I'll tell you how. Okay, because they were still considering pursuing charges against Durk. Obviously, they can't pursue them charges against King Von if he died 2 years ago. But they couldn't say, hey, drop these charges on Von because he dead. Because he a co-D with Durk. So, in order to try to prosecute Durk or to bring any charges up against him, you know, they couldn't just, throw out King Von shit. They couldn't drop all his charges until they found out what they was going to do with Durk. Duh. And that's why the dates you going by, which is, you said King Von got his charges dropped on the 17th, and Durk got his dropped on the 20th or the 22nd. That is why, you know, Durk charges come being dropped days after King Von's. Okay, not because Durk didn't snitch on King Von, but because they charges were simultaneously dropped. Okay, once they found out that, okay, hey, they're not going to prosecute Von, that they're going to drop his charges, that's when they filed the motion to go ahead and drop charges on King Von. Then they dropped his charges, then turned around and dropped Durk's charges. Okay, just because the date of the charges that's being dropped is put out this day, that don't mean that's when they decided it, to drop the charges. Okay, they could have been decided to drop charges. I'll give you an example. They could have been decided, okay, well, we're not going to pursue charges on Durk in September. But that don't mean it's still an order of operation that they're going to go by. Okay, especially if you don't want to look like you told on somebody. Especially if you done paid off a lawyer, paid off a judge, or something like that. They're still going to try to make it make sense to the public and try to fool people who think and go by these dates and these numbers. So they like, okay, we ain't going to pursue charges. Well, go ahead, drop the charges on Von first. Then like a week later, go ahead, drop Durk charges. That way, they can't say, oh, Durk snitched on the... It's still 2 years later after King Von is gone that they dropping his charges. So them charges was stuck on Von. Even after his death, them charges were stuck for 2 years. Okay, who does that not benefit? It don't benefit Durk. Okay, who does it benefit for both of them to have their charges dropped? Durk. So just cause, like, that's like saying, okay, they're not gonna pursue charges on Durk, but we're gonna keep. That's like saying that they could have hypothetically not dropped King Von charges. By you saying that, oh, well, they dropped King Von charges first, then they dropped Durk charges. They had to drop King Von charges. They should have dropped his charges 2 years ago. Okay, but that don't mean that they still couldn't go forward with prosecution against Durk. But it would be hard to go forward with any type of prosecution against Durk if they had dropped his charges in 2020. Duh. They couldn't drop King Von charges right after he died because they were still pursuing the case against Durk. Okay, and just because he got his shit dropped a week before Durk, that don't mean that Durk didn't make some type of deal, or that don't mean that Durk didn't go in there and tell them people that King Von did this and that and that and that and got his charges dropped. Then for them to turn around and then drop Von's charges before Durk so that Durk don't look like he told. Because he got you fooled, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this is what he did. I'm just speaking hypothetically. You know, all this is alleged and hypothetically. Okay? Nobody knows. But one thing I do know, too, for certain, is there's a lot of people that's running around telling on their dead homies. Ask T.I. Okay? Ask Boosie. Ask all these other rappers who is basically talking about all the things that King Von did after he died. Now everybody want to do a YouTube video. Oh, King Von got this body, he got that body, he got that body. They won't say none of that when he was alive. Okay? So, it's not abnormal for a rapper to tell on somebody after they died. So what makes y'all think Durk is an exception? Okay? Y'all don't know what he told on and told. He could have went in there and told them people, man, King Von got this body, that body, that body. I know because I'm the closest to him. Okay, drop my charges. I'm going to give y'all this. Y'all drop my charges. Come on, man. Come on, man. Use your head, dog. Use your head, man. He could have went in there and said, man, hey, listen, don't put this out. This can't be in no paperwork, but I'm going to give y'all this. I'm going to tell y'all who he smoked. Okay, when he smoked them. I just need y'all to drop these charges. Come on, man. Y'all got to think.
So, with that being said, bro, I put out the video. The video that I have is the exact evidence that the police have. They're going to be getting rid of it in 4 years anyways. That's after all the charges and all that BS, everything was dismissed. Prosecutory discretion, they could double back. But,
listen, they're not going to double back. Okay? They're not going to double back. Why? Because they already got enough information against other people now. Probably. Allegedly. Not saying that. Listen, I'm not trying to call Durk a rat. I never said Durk was a rat. I'm not saying that he definitely went in there and gave them no information. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that detective, Jeffrey Churchill, came up there on the stand and said they had 5 different cameras that witnessed the King Von and Lil Durk incident. The detective did say on the stand that he seen Lil Durk, not somebody, not possibly, but he seen Lil Durk, Mr. Banks, stick his arm out the window, fire a weapon. Okay, they did say that both of them carjacked another guy. They did say that that guy was shot in the leg and robbed of $30,000. This is multiple felonies. So even if you're not guilty of one of them, or 2 of them, or 3 of them, come on, man. You mean to tell me they dropped every charge? They didn't offer Durk no plea or nothing? They didn't say, man, plead out to this. Do you mean to tell me they couldn't prove nothing? They couldn't prove absolutely nothing. When they say they had 5 different cameras that shows them committing a carjacking and armed robbery? When the detective is on the stand saying Mr. Banks stuck his hand out the window and fired the shots? You mean to tell me they don't have a smidget of evidence to book one charge? And I don't want nobody to go to jail. I never wish bad on nobody. I'm just calling it how I see it, dog. You know what I'm saying? To me, it sounds like somebody got paid off. You know what I'm saying? To me, it sounds like Sadie Nash is trying to make it seem like they dropped all these charges and he's not questioning the fact of why. And how can he beat all of these felonies when he's an alleged gang member, right? You know, best friends with what we know now is to be hip-hop's first serial killer. Okay? How is he able to get all those charges dropped and nothing happened to this nigga? No probation, no misdemeanor assault charge, no attempts, nothing. Okay? Said he's not asking none of these questions. Okay? Why? Because he know that his platform might get scrutinized and looked at by Lil Durk fans. Okay? And that won't be good for him. Okay? I don't have no dog and cat in this race. And I really don't care. I'm just reacting to what I'm seeing. Which look like some bullshit.
Durk ain't no rat, bro. And that's my bad to cuz. That's my apology to cuz. Because one thing I did that I rarely if ever do, I let the public persuade me. And I proved that goddamn King Von would have been charged anyways. That bullshit was fake. If y'all remember, anybody who's been a visionary for at least a year, in October after this shit happened, I went and I looked and I examined the hell out of what was said. And they tried to say the spokesperson for the Fulton County District Office, blah, 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 some more shit. It turns out that was never a true statement. It never was a
Look, see, now Sadie Nash backpedaling on his work. So, not all of your work is called into question, and the integrity of your work is called into question. Sorry. I'm sorry, but it is. It's all called into question now. Because it sounds like you done got paid off. Yeah, you been a man. You're and apologizing for whatever wrong you may have caused by causing them a snitch and stuff. But what about calling everything else how I see it? Why you not questioning the fact that how did all these charges get dropped in the first place? Okay? Why is that? Ain't nobody asking why these charges get dropped? How is that possible? When a detective pointed and said, listen, Mr. Banks pulled out the weapon. They got 5 different surveillance cameras that can prove that Von and Durk was there and carjacked that dude and shot him in the leg and took that money. Okay? And nobody, you're not going to question how is he not being indicted on at least one of those charges? Okay? I'm going to question it. Okay? And the reason being is because if y'all watched one of my last videos that I did on this, I know for a fact, okay, they was about to use King Von for a scapegoat, okay? That if King Von had still been alive today, okay, they was going to try to use him for a scapegoat to get Durk out. Durk was probably scared that King Von was going to take his position because he got sent up state, you know, on charges related to this shooting. Okay, that's just a fact. Yeah, King Von probably would have went too, but he would have been out before Durk, okay, and taking over the rap game. If they could have proved anything, possibly never even would have went to jail because the detectives didn't say they seen Von doing no shooting. They probably could have got him on something else. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they could have got him on an accessory to carjacking or accessory after a fact, but Durk not about to snitch on Von. That would be bad for his career. So, I don't believe King Von was going to be facing any charges. Okay? I feel like Sadie Nash has been bought off or paid off by somebody, dog. To not tell the truth, dog. You know, to not tell the truth, but not ask the right questions, if that makes sense. Alright, but anyway,
it never was given out by Fonnie Willis' office. Never. You can't go find it. And we can bet money on it. But I listened to the wrong fucking people.
Yeah, I know. And you're not asking the right questions. Okay? Do your job, man. Okay, if you're gonna be a YouTuber or some type of hip-hop journalist, ask the right questions, bro. Because that's not my job. But I am gonna call it out when I see that y'all not doing your job.